Is Turo all sunshine and daisies? Is business always perfectly smooth? Or have you encountered strange or unexpected situations in your Turo journey? Well, today we're going to be talking about a bunch of weird things that can happen to your fleet. Kind of like the weird fact that over 90% of my viewers are not subscribed. Absolutely strange. If you don't want to be a part of that very weird statistic, feel free to drop a sub on the channel. And with that, let's get right into the video. So I don't know about you, but before I started hosting on Turo, I thought for sure it was going to be mostly a cakewalk to host my car to renters. I knew there was a chance that my car could eventually get totaled, but other than that, I never really thought about the strange one-off things that could happen to me. And to make you better prepared for the things that will maybe happen to you in the future, I'm going to walk you through 5 strange Turo situations and how they can easily be handled. This way, you don't have to freak out and stress over what to do when you inevitably encounter them. Hopping into number 1, we have lost keys. So if you're anything like me, you've probably never actually lost a car key. But with renting to hundreds of people over the course of your Turo journey, you're bound to find someone that will lose your key. And guess losing a key is a tricky situation for a number of reasons. First off, you may only have one key, and therefore your guest might actually be stranded. In these situations, you should contact a mobile key replacement service and see if they can go out to your guest to have a new key made for the vehicle. Luckily, there's also a way to avoid ever being in this situation, but you'll have to be proactive about it. All you have to do in order to never experience this situation is smash the like button. I'm kidding. All you have to do is make sure that you have at least 2 keys to begin with. That way, if your renter loses a key, you can give them the replacement key. And don't worry, once the trip is over, you simply report damage to the vehicle and note that it's a lost key that you're reporting. Turo has always covered the full cost of getting a replacement key for us. Once you have your replacement key made, snap a picture of the invoice and send it over to your claims representative. They'll get you paid out for the cost in no time at all. Moving on to number 2, we have flat tires, tire bulges, cracked rims, really anything tire related. These are tricky, especially because they can sometimes be slow leaks and not show up for a while after the trip has ended if your renter doesn't tell you about it. For this specific situation, it's super important that you take amazing pre-trip photos of your tires to show that they're in good working condition. You might even want to go the extra mile and use a tread checker to show the tread on your tires in the event that your renter leaves them bald. Whatever the case, if you can catch the issue in time and have proof that the tires were in good condition before the trip, you can absolutely submit a damage claim. As a power host, we are given $200 per tire issue with no deductible, so I have always been paid in full for tire replacements or patches. If you're not a power host, you can do one of a few things to fix your situation. The first of which is that you can obviously subscribe to my channel for more tips so that you too can become a power host someday. The second thing you can do is to work directly with the guest if you're on any plan but the 60 plan in order to resolve it directly and have them pay for the full cost of the patch or replacement. Instead of looking for the big dealerships where you're going to have to wait weeks to get an appointment to have your tire issue resolved, what we personally do is go to a local tire shop where they do same-day appointments at a super reasonable cost. If you follow those steps, you won't ever panic over another tire issue ever again. Now for number 3. We have abandoned vehicles. It sounds weird because you and most decent human beings would never outright abandon a rental car. It really doesn't make sense if you say it out loud. But it's definitely something that can and likely will happen to you. Sometimes your renter will have enough quote-unquote decency to let you know that they're straight up leaving your car somewhere. But sometimes you might not hear about it until you have a letter in the mail from a tow yard. Either way, there are a few ways to handle this, so let's dive straight in. The first thing that I personally do to lower the risk of my car ending up in a tow yard is I have trackers on all of my vehicles. There's a number of different companies that you can use, but we personally have bouncy and low jack trackers in our vehicles. Both have their pros and cons, and I'll leave their websites in the description below if you're interested in checking them out. With trackers, we always know where our vehicles are. We have had renters in the past tell us, "Hey, I'm leaving your car at a bank in some city 40 minutes away." Thankfully, we were able to track exactly where the car was and go to pick it up. Other times, we have had renters tell us, "Your car is at my friend's house and I don't have the key." In these cases, again, we just track the vehicle and go retrieve it. For situations like this, you can, and we do, absolutely charge an improper drop-off fee. It helps to compensate you for the inconvenience of having to go out of your way to pick up your car. Usually, these vehicles are also left unfueled, so we charge for that too. the number one way to lower stress associated with abandoned cars is having trackers installed. If you want to lower future used stress, get a tracker. Number 4 kind of goes along with number 3 in a sense. For number 4, we have stolen vehicles. There are a number of ways that your vehicle can be stolen on the Turo platform. Maybe you've got a car with security flaws and it gets stolen from a renter while they're on their trip. Maybe your renter just up and decided your car was now theirs, and there's nothing you can say to stop them. These things definitely can and do happen, but one thing I'll mention here is that you have to give these situations a bit of time to show their true colors. We have had renters keep a car for 48 extra hours with no prior communication and then end up dropping off the vehicle after 2 extra days. Sometimes the renter thought that they had the vehicle booked for longer. Sometimes they just don't care and need a car for a couple extra days. There's a different story every time. But sometimes, especially with Turo Go, your car can be fraudulently booked by someone that hacked somebody else's account. This happened with my Tesla, and although I'm not able to discuss the situation quite yet since the trial is still ongoing, I'll definitely have a video to go through it once the trial is concluded. Similar to when your car is abandoned, the best way to solve this problem is by having your cars equipped with trackers. They can and hopefully will save you the headache of having to go through a claim for a stolen vehicle. And now, finally moving on to number 5, we have car breakdowns or maintenance issues. This absolutely will happen to you if you stick with Turo long enough. Whether it's a battery dying or something like an alternator or transmission giving out, something will happen to your vehicle that will render it unable to drive. For situations like this, it's always nice to have a service like AAA paid for. This way, you can make a simple call or online request to have your car jumped or towed. The AAA plan that we pay for is like $60 a year and allows us to have the car towed 4 times. We actually pay for 3 of these plans to have 12 tows, and it's some of the best money that you can spend for your Turo fleet, in my own personal opinion. When things happen, even car accidents, we can just go out and have a tow truck come to pick up the vehicle and bring it to the shop of our choice. Unfortunately, these situations honestly never get easier in my opinion, because it usually is followed with hefty repairs that have to be made to your vehicle. But it's all a part of the process. One way to mitigate this issue is by purchasing a super reliable vehicle. Personally, we love Honda for their reliability. And as I said earlier, having a service like AAA paid for so that you have it if you ever need it. And with those 5 situations explained, we've come to the end of the video. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe for future content, and hit the notification bell to be notified every time I upload. And until next time, take care everybody.